Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Gary. Hope you've all had a good week. I hope you have all had a great weekend. Welcome to the Sunday Club for those that are new here, and welcome back for those that are not. Just going to give a quick shout out to my channel members: Tom Briscoe, Brian Turner, Gate 102 Podcast, Wow It's Felix, Josh Philp, Kurt Barlow and Ricky Grimshaw are in the squad. Starting 11 is Robert Bev, and channel legend is, of course, Charlie Kelly. I hope you guys have had a great week. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. I think what I wanted to talk about, because obviously last week I didn't do a live stream, and in fact, I'll start by saying, so as you all know, those that are regular on a Sunday, I have Guess the Player. Guess the Player will be tonight, usually in about 15 minutes or so. I've got another thing though. I want to sort of create like a little radio show. I know it's not a radio show, but I've got another little fun thing that I want to do weekly with you guys. So stick around till about 10 past. I'll come back on at 10 past and you'll see what that is. Just one very quick, simple thing. But another thing that I want to chuck into the pot, as it were, every single Sunday, just to give these live streams that, familiarity, if you like, and people know what's coming when. Let's go to the chat. Matt's Attack, evening. Panther King, hello. Charlie Kelly, are you okay, mate? No, absolutely fine, mate. You do you. I mean, I've struggled to get videos out and stuff. Work's been busy. I didn't live stream last week, but I did get a video out last week. And that is where tonight's conversations need to go, because those who have watched my last couple of videos, and that is looking at Ghana and Croatia in a little bit more detail, they've done very well. They've been quite popular videos, but I think anyone who's looked in the comments section will see that there's a lot of confidence out there in England's opponents, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it with you guys. And if there is any Croatians or Ghanaian fans in the chat, join the conversation. 924 Music, evening. Charlie Kelly, England are going to do well this summer. Can't wait for it. So it's sort of this thing now where I don't know if everyone else goes through this same process, right? So when the draw was made, I was happy. I was thinking, you know what, we're going to be all right with that group. Then you doubt yourself. Then you're a bit like, no, we'll be fine. Then you doubt yourself again after reading a few more comments and doing a bit of research. Then you come back. So there's this like vicious circle. I don't know if I'm the only one who's going through this, where I keep looking at this group and thinking, we'll be absolutely fine. We're going to have a great summer. And then some days I'm just a bit like, this is tough. We're not as good as what we think we are. It's that self-doubt, isn't it? Well, it's not self-doubt. I won't be playing. But it's that, it's just one of those things that makes you feel like, you're just not sure, are you? You're just really, really not sure. That's what I'm going through at the minute. So I keep coming back and forth where, I just don't know what to say. I'm sort of torn between that, because going back to my comments on my last two videos, please go and have a look at them, by the way. Particularly Ghanaian fans, they are well up for this. Like, they are adamant. They are adamant they're going to batter us. Well, not batter us, but they're adamant they're going to beat us. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary has landed back on YouTube. Evening, Don, mate. The whole reason I'm confident isn't even the players, it's Thomas Tuchel. And I know, Charlie, you're a big Thomas Tuchel fan, and I've got that from you over the last few weeks, where you're loving that he's our England manager. I think you're confident in his ability to get us over that line, or certainly go there and not make a fool of us. And I agree. I agree with that. I think he's a good manager, but he's not tested yet. We've been through all these conversations before. But going back to my Ghana video, right? It's done really, really well. It's been a really successful video on the channel. But I have never, and I genuinely mean this, and I've been doing this a long time now, and I don't get hundreds of thousands of views, but some of my preview videos for games tend to get a lot of views from opposition fans, which I completely understand. I have never, though, done a preview of a match or of an opponent where the chat has been so full and consistently, like, confident in their side's ability to get an upset against us. And that is what the Ghanaian fans have been like. Just go through it. I mean, go through it now, go through it after this stream. they think they've, they think we're the underdogs from what I'm reading. I think there's a thing, right? For those that don't have YouTube, there's a new thing on there now where YouTube will do like an AI summary of all the comments, particularly for videos that get a lot of comments and a lot of views. So I'm looking at this video's had 26,000 views. It's had 322 comments. That's a lot of comments. Saying this like big myself up, it's been a great video, but I'm doing it because it's difficult to like weigh up what everyone's saying. But there's a new thing on there that it'll summarize the comments. I'm gonna see if I can find it, because it'll give a nice breakdown and it'll probably sum up what I've sort of. Here we go, get summary. So you go and get summary here, and it'll give me, there you go, it's giving me a great big long summary. So let me read some of this out. So this is what AI has done out of those 40. He's very quickly analysed those 400 comments and given me a summary of how the Ghanaian fans have responded. So viewers largely dismiss England's chances of easy victory against Ghana, often citing Ghana's historical performance against top-tier teams and unique tournament mentality, while also providing specific tactical insight and player evaluations. So it gives me then 3 bullet points. Number 1 is there's a disbelief in England's dominance. Number 2 is Ghana's big game mentality and unpredictability. And number 3 is key Ghanaian players and tactical observations. Let me just read the top one. Very frequent, it says, a vast majority of comments express strong disagreement with the video's prediction of England dominating ball possession, asserting Ghana's ability to compete for possession or even dominate. That's what it says. Backed by past performances against major footballing nations. So, I mean, very, very short, that's something, they're really cocky. They're confident. I mean, they're thinking I'm confident. And I am. I am confident England will get a result against Ghana. But my God, Ghanaians are like, they are. They've got no doubts in their team. No doubts at all. He won my club. Where's that gone? He won my club the Champions League and beat Guardiola 3 times in 6 weeks. You don't do that by accident. I completely agree. Dom, what a scorpion flick goal it was. Cracking goal, wasn't it, mate? Morocco fans would also be overconfident we drew them. Are you Felix? Evening, mate. Caroline, Carol. Dom, honestly, I find most of the top African sides to be equal at best. Asia, Japan, Korea, Australia and Iran. I only once saw Uzbekistan beat Cameroon. I mean, the AFCON is now finished. The AFCON it went pretty predictably, really, didn't it? The two, what most people perceive as being the 2 best teams in Africa, got to the final. And, it wasn't that great, was it? But it was... Look, Ghana didn't even qualify for it. So the fact that they're in my chat, and I love the fact that they're in my comment section, that's what it's all about. I've always said that this isn't it is an England fan channel, but I want fans from all over the world to engage me. I have these conversations because I go back to, again, I've said this thousands of times, I had nowhere else to do that. Before I set this channel up, if I knew England were playing Ghana or Japan or whatever, where could I communicate with Japanese fans or Ghanaian fans? And now I can. So I absolutely love it that they're in the comment section. But I'm really overwhelmed and gobsmacked by how confident they've been. I really am. As Semenyo used to play for one of my rivals, I was wishing for him to have a stinker against England. The problem is he is still one man. He is one man. Alan, yeah, come on, England, mate, absolutely. Multiburger, how you doing, mate? I don't know if anyone else sort of saw that, and I think there is a little thing, right? And the same has happened to a lesser extent, but the same has happened with my Croatia video as well. It's not had as many views yet. It's only been out a day or 2. But, today there's been a lot more Croatians coming into the comments saying that, don't underestimate blah, 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 blah. And it makes me think, and this is making a point now. As soon as I, as an England fan, or as soon as you guys, if you're England fans, you'll know when you go and put a comment on another YouTuber's video about England or whatever. Immediately, we get attacked by other fans saying, "Oh, typical England fans thinking of the God's gift, or they're entitled to win games." Blah 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 blah. So, in other words, it's almost becomes a stigma or becomes a stereotype that we can't be confident in our own nation's ability to win a game. Genuinely, but every other fan, it's just completely acceptable that, they can go into games saying, don't underestimate us, we'll beat you, even when they're obviously not the best team out of the 2. And I'm getting a bit bored of it, really. So, you know what? I'm going to say it now. And this is where I'm hoping Croatian and Ghanaians are in this chat. We are beating you both. We are beating you both at the World Cup. We are a better team than you both. We are beating you both at the World Cup. Who's with me? Come on. I'm telling you now. I am confident. I am cocky because I do think England are a better team than Ghana and Croatia. And that is what I'm saying tonight. And I am a bit not wound up. People don't wind me up in chats. You'll see I don't respond half the time. I heart the comments. But I think what I'm saying is, you know what? I'm going to back my team. I'm going to back my team the same way they're backing their team. And I'm saying it's 6 points for England against those two. Yeah, maybe, Japan maybe was a different... Japan was probably the one team not to pick out, as an example. England shouldn't have no trouble against Ghana. I can't see the force. 7 points minimum, but even then, I back England to beat Croatia. Ghana and England will draw 2-2, says Alan Richardson. Should be easy 9 points in the group. That's it, Felix. That is it. Easy 9 points. I love that. Right, he's coming up to quarter two. I mean, was that me ranting? Did I start this off with a 15-minute rant tonight? I'm going to put on, let's get it on tonight for those that, where is it? I don't want to put the answer up. Here we go. I think tonight's Guess the Player is really easy. And I'll leave it up. I'm going to stick it up now, give it till 8 o'clock, as I usually do, 15 minutes or so. But 15 minutes is probably a little bit generous for everyone, to be honest with you. But I'll leave it up tonight. So here you go. Here's this week's Guess the Player. Stood next to Jordan Henderson. I think this is an easy one. Wasn't 1982 World Cup the last time England took 3 wins in their opening 3 matches? Anyway, having a draw versus Croatia and Ghana is not a disaster if it occurred. I agree. You know, a draw against Croatia isn't a disaster. I think a draw against this Ghanaian team, where they're at the minute, isn't a disaster. It's just not acceptable. England should get 7 points, says Darius. In the humidity of USA and Mexico, we will rely on our subs big time. Tuchel will be in his element on the tactical introduction of them. Stephen Gerrard says Mattis attack. Darius is saying the same. Dom saying Stevie G. I'm not giving anything away. Bearing in mind... obviously, this isn't a woman, but bearing in mind, I did put a Guess the Player up the other week, and it was a woman, and I had loads of comments saying it just wasn't. It was Alessia Russo, and I had loads of comments. So I'm just saying, sowing doubt in people's minds. Well said, Garrett. England will top the group. Exactly, Carol. We will top the group. Ghana's attacking isn't that strong. Michelle Adjumang could start as a striker for them. I just think. I mean, look, Croatian fans. Fair enough. Yeah, you know, they're a good team. They're nearly in the top 10. I said in my video that if there weren't 3 poor hosts hosting this World Cup, they would have been a pot 1 team. So Croatia, a good team. Yeah. I genuinely don't understand where Ghanaian fans' confidence comes from. I don't get it. They haven't even qualified for the AFCON. They've been on a steady decline and a sustained decline for 10, 15 years. From a performance, FIFA ranking perspective. Honestly, I mean, genuinely now, and this is where the doubt comes in, right? Because I've seen some people already in the chat tonight saying, you know, a draw isn't that bad. It bloody is. This is a team who we are so in doubt in our own heads. This Ghanaian team are not a strong team, and England should beat them. England should beat them, 100%. And I'm sticking with that. I'm not going to let doubt creep in. I'm not going to let other, fans of other nations tell me otherwise. I'm adamant England are a far better team than Ghana, and we should beat them on the night comfortably. And I mean that. Yeah, they've got Semenyo, but we've got 10 Semenyos. You know what I mean? Don't give me that. We've got 10 on them. So yeah, it's just I've come in tonight and I want to be more confident about England, even though if you'll see the pin tonight is do we have enough England players playing at their top level at the moment? Do we? Saka's now injured. He's out for a bit, potentially. Jude Bellingham, I understand, went off, injured today. Cole Palmer isn't still, getting the games. He's getting the games, but not performing at the level he needs to. Rodgers is Rodgers. I think he's having a great season. I don't know. There is certain but then there's other players coming back in. Mainoo's coming back. I'm hearing a lot of talk about Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire makes the World Cup squad at this rate. I really do. I think he makes the World Cup squad. But Madueke isn't getting games. If Saka then gets injured, does that give Madueke opportunity? But then Saka is our second best attacker after Harry Kane. If he's not around and not fully fit, that Saka's a massive loss. Massive loss. England to defeat Panama 3-0 minimum. How Panama are ranked 26th. I know. Ghana's starting 11 ain't convincing, Matt. I'm telling you. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would take Harry Maguire over that, and I think all of you guys in this chat are pretty. I think we've all agreed on this before. Maguire goes above Dan Burn, doesn't he? 100%, definitely goes above Dan Burn. 100% goes above Dan Burn. I don't know. I just think. I think sometimes we're told we can't be confident as England fans, or we put doubt in ourselves. I've said in all my videos, not a single. I mean, probably. I suppose they want to play England, but they've been looking at that group, that pot one. Sorry, or Ghana, Panama, and Croatia would have been looking at pot one and thinking, "There's easier teams than England in that." I've not got the darts on. Yeah, it's difficult. Well, I can't watch it. It's up there anyway. My TV. I won't be looking at you. I won't be talking to you guys over the darts on. Some people need to take their club hats off for international football. Squad depth for the group stage isn't as important as the knockout rounds. England should get the full 9 points. To be honest, we should. And I know we don't historically. England in group stages never. I mean, we have once, I think, but we never win all 3 games. I get that. History sometimes has that funny thing where you just can't explain it. It just happens, and that'll probably happen this summer. But in reality, each one of those 3 games, you put England as favourites, don't you? So, England are going to be formidable this summer. I hope so, Charlie. The one thing that is creeping in is just how many England players I'm not saying we haven't got, a lot of players to choose from, but players aren't just at the minute, not all of them, or certainly some of the players who you would expect to be pretty solid for England just haven't been getting the games or playing as well this season. So it just needs. We could just do with a couple of players in a bit of form, Saka and Bellingham in particular, because those two, they're not having a bad season, but compared to others, like other seasons, I mean, they're not hitting the levels that they were, once were. Yeah, I'm not worried about Ghana. They ain't got anybody. Semenyo's great. Yeah, he's great. But it's just. I go back to the fact how many Semenyos have we got? My concern is a lot of Ghana players will treat their England fixture as a World Cup final before getting eliminated. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? And I've said this before, and I think this is where sometimes when England draw like a Scotland, like a home nation, a Scotland, a Wales, an Ireland, Northern Ireland, whatever. I think that sometimes, because it's such a big occasion for those teams, and it's a big occasion for a lot of countries, maybe because of history or whatever, to play England, they give it means a little bit more to them. So it's not just a normal game for England, but I don't know. There is that little bit. I think we were playing Denmark at the round of 16 in Mexico City, not Mexico. I bloody hope so. Inaki Williams can be a pain in the backside. Look, all I'm saying is I ain't worried about anybody. I ain't worried about Croatia, I ain't worried about Ghana, and I certainly ain't worried about Panama. But looking at the FIFA rankings, Ghana, by a long way, by a long way, Ghana are the worst team in this group. Honestly. It's just such an odd one. I was expecting their fans to come in and say, don't underestimate us, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think I were. I often underestimate teams in my videos, but I just wasn't expecting the confidence that they're going to beat us. Like, what the hell? Where's that come from? I forgot about Naki, to be fair, but England will be fine. I don't rate Eddie Nketiah. No, there's a lot of players I don't particularly rate. Panama is higher than Ghana in FIFA ranking. Yeah, by by quite a distance as well. That's what I mean. So Ghana are by far the worst team in our group based on FIFA rankings by a long way. I think they're like 70 odd, aren't they? Like they're well down. They're almost at a record low. And again, this is a team that didn't qualify for their own AFCON. So it's just, I'm not buying Ghana. I ain't buying it. So unless someone knows something I don't, England cannot fail to beat Ghana. There's no excuse. There is no excuse at all. And I know football's football, anything can happen, but I ain't having it. Should be 2-3-0. Should be 2-3-0 for me. They should not cause us a single problem. But maybe I'm being overconfident now. I don't know. You tell me. Where were we up to? God, time's flying. It's like almost half hour gone already tonight. Let's talk about players who are starting to come through. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, is he going to push? Is he going to push late? Man United are on great form at the minute, and I've not been watching many of the games, but I've seen that he's starting. He's started every game, I think, under Michael Carrick. Obviously now they're getting results. What's our feelings on him? We need to realise CONCACAF North America is a weak confederation where wins versus USA. Oh my God, 100%, Dom, 100%. I could see Panama upsetting England's group. They did very well in Copa America in 2024 in the same group with Uruguay and USA, but they lost to Colombia in last 16. The problem is though, and how good are Uruguay and US? I mean, the US under Poch have been woeful until recently. Like they've had a right mixed bag of results. Uruguay obviously are nowhere near the team that you historically associate them as being. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the AFCON and the CONCACAF in particular are really, really weak confederations. I really do believe that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, Senegal and Morocco are good sides. I'll give them that from the AFCON. They are very good sides. I'm glad we haven't got either of those two, because I think I would be a lot more doubtful about England's ability to win against those in a tough group game. They're going to cause some upsets. Both of those teams should cause some upsets this summer. Absolutely. So a couple of minutes, guys. Get your guess the player in. Mainoo at this rate can be in the squad, but he needs to show something in the friendlies to be a contender for the starting 11. Not long now, is there? I mean, there's the Japan and the Uruguay game. I go back to again. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because how much do we read into those? But these are the last two games. This is it. This is the last camp, not the last two camps. This is the last camp to prove yourself. And it's coming around quick. You know, if you're an England player now who hasn't been involved, you know, I'm looking at your Cole Palmers. I mean, Trent's not going, is he? Trent's certainly not going. I don't think Cole Palmer's going. Yeah, I agree there. I think Morocco could be a real tough test. Feels like such a long time between November and March games. Oh my God, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Felix? We're now in February, though, which I did not realise until this morning. I didn't realise we'd actually slipped into February over the weekend. So it'll soon come round now. Kobbie Mainoo should be in the conversation. Wharton doesn't look up to it. Now, I honestly, and I've said this in my other live streams, haven't I? I'm not sold on Adam Wharton. And I'm really gutted because I hadn't seen him and I was listening to the hype. You know, I don't watch Palace week in, week out, but I was sold on the hype. Everything I've seen of him, I'm not convinced by him. I definitely see Cole Palmer go to the World Cup, massive player when he's playing well. He's not fit though, is he? No, but you've got to have a backup, haven't you, Mats? Redfire 3913. Hi Gary, it's Calvin. I don't think Ghana will win because USA beat them 2-1 in 2014 and has a losing campaign in 2022. You think Turkey will qualify for the World Cup? Go England. Yeah, well, I think Turkey, mate, I barely remember any World Cup where I guarantee now if Turkey qualify, there'll be someone's dark horse, and they always go there and disappoint. Always. I don't think Ghana can't beat England. I'm telling you now. Ghana cannot beat England. Yeah, I think Turkey will get there. I mean, the fact that these playoffs haven't been decided yet is outrageous. Like 4 or 5 months before the World Cup. It's crazy. Well, it is about 4 or 5 months before the World Cup now. It's ridiculous that we still don't know the full pot of teams that are technically going to the World Cup. Yeah. I still think it's going to probably be too late for Sri Lanka, to be honest with you. I think it's... I mean, who are we looking at? Calvert-Lewin, Ollie Watkins. As a Romanian, I think Turkey will beat us 3-1 to the World Cup since 24 years. I think Turkey will do it. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl for the NFL? Ghana will not beat England or USA. It's always been that way. Do you actually mean watch the Super? I've never watched a Super Bowl in my life, mate. Or are you talking about that being a Super Bowl game? Tell me what you mean, Calvin. Sorry, mate. Turkey play brilliant football. If they stiffen their defence, they will be a force. England are lacking a third striker option. We don't need a third striker option. I agree, but we don't need one. Palmer needs an op, but we'll hold it off until after the World Cup. But he does raise himself against the best opposition. No, I know it's American football, but I meant, did you mean like a football? It doesn't matter. It's me getting confused. But no, I've never watched... I've always been tempted, but I've never watched the Super Bowl, mate. It's always on. I think there was one year I tried to stay up, and I think I managed to get to the first punt or whatever. Someone kicked the ball off, fell over, and then it went for a commercial break, and I was just like, I'm not being funny about going to bed now. So I've never managed to make it through. I've never watched a full game of American football, and I've never watched the Super Bowl. Those 2 goals were Sri Lanka's first 2 goals of the season. He needs to seriously, they were good goals, but Sri Lanka's not going. Yeah, and Saka's an injury. I might miss the England versus Japan. I've got a holiday booked, so yeah. Sports I like except football are motorsports and ice hockey. To be fair, I'll watch any sports. I will watch any sports, but I've not watched the Super Bowl. I mean, so obviously, Calvin, you're an American. What are Americans aware the World Cup's happening? Are they bothered? Seattle versus New England Patriots. Okay. What night is it on? Is it on tonight? Is that why you're asking? Or today, tonight, wherever you are in the world. If it's on, it's usually on, isn't it? On the BBC in the UK. I'm sure it is, like late at night. Let me see. Oh no, I don't think it is on tonight. 8th of Feb. There you go. So not long away, about a week away. No, I don't know if I will watch it, mate. Right, I'm going to do my reveal the player. So those of you who... I did say it was going to be easy this week. And it is, because you're absolutely right. It was, of course, Stevie G. Is that pose he's doing quite an iconic pose? I think it is. I'm sure little things where I didn't even realise, but he always stood like that, didn't he? He always... I'd have probably been better off banking out Jordan Henderson in this one and leaving Gerrard open. Yeah, you can tell by his arms, absolutely. I can't get excited at Super Bowl baseball or the NBA. I don't find the downfall of ice hockey in terms of popularity to be sad, especially in a country like Canada. I won't watch it. So how about that, Senegal? I knew it, Stevie. Yeah, he was. I should have blanked out the other one. I can't remember if I did Jordan Henderson one week. I think I did. I didn't realise that thing he does with his arms. I didn't realise that was such an iconic thing for him. As he twists his arms like the other way, doesn't he? And holds them like that. Looks like he's like his dad watching his son play Sunday League or something like that, doesn't he? Right, I'm going to play something. Let me take this off because my next part, and I said I was going to wait till 10 past, but I think, you know what? Let's just do it now. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So I need you guys to tell me in the chat if you hear this. Did you hear that? Just let me know in the chat. it'll all become apparent. If you didn't, it won't become apparent. You did hear it. Right, brilliant. So that, each week, is now going to be the jingle for the weekly England, I was going to say quiz. It's not a quiz, question. So each week, I'm just going to have, after Guess the Player, a trivia question related to England. And the way this is going to work, that was me in Italy, England versus Italy, when just after the Italian national anthem, the time when we beat Italy in Italy, when Harry Kane broke the goal scoring record. It was in Naples. So yeah, just so you all know, that's what it was from. I needed a jingle for like when this thing is going to come up. Again, I go back to, it may not work, it might be total nonsense this, but I said I wanted like a radio style thing. So every time you hear that, that is going to be the cue for this week's question to be raised. So it is England question of the week. And the way it is going to work, you will see in the top left-hand corner, because I do not want cheating. Do not cheat. You need to all promise me you will not cheat here. One of the reasons, I mean, a minute's just, you will cheat within a minute. But I'm going to give you a minute when I put the question up for guys to put their answers in the chat. And then you'll sit, and then who gets it right? Just you get it right. You get the bragging rights, should we say? So we'll do one of these each week. Just a bit of fun. So without further delay, here is this week's question, and the timer starts now. So England last played Japan in 2010 in a friendly, but what was the final score? You've got 1 minute to get your, well, slightly less than a minute, to get your answers in the chat. And do not cheat. Do not cheat. Do not Google it. 0-0, says Andrew. 2-1 in favour of England, says Dom. Was it 3-0, says Redfire. England 2, Japan 1. 2-1. A few 2-1s coming out. You can't beat a quiz. 10 seconds. Well, just shy. 10, 9, 8. Last few. And we are done. Oh, the countdown message. I need a countdown message, don't I? So, well done for those guys. So, someone has put the correct answer. And the answer was 2-1 to England. Well done for those that said that. Now, Matt's attack, it wasn't the game in Switzerland. It was the game in Austria. So, it was in a neutral venue. If you, may or may not remember, England didn't actually score any goals that night. Japan scored 2 own goals. It was Marcus Tulio Tanaki scored an own goal in the 72nd minute and Yuji Nakazawa in the 83rd minute. So Japan were 1-0 up from the 7th minute on in that game, up until the 72nd. And, England scored, Japan scored 2 own goals. So, I forgot about that game. I hope you found that, half right. If England are against Argentina in the semi-final, it might be 50-50. It'd be a cracking game. I hope you enjoyed that. So just like Guess the Player, because I feel like Guess the Player, I might be total nonsense here, but I feel like Guess the Player is a popular thing. I think you guys enjoy it. So I wanted to do something else. Quick minute, because let's be honest, if I give people longer like I do with Guess the Player, all of you are Googling it. The temptation would be too much. So, each week we'll do Guess the Player at 1:45, and then maybe 5, 10 past, or maybe on the hour, I'll do this week's quiz question. So, keep a tally of your scores. Japan might get the revenge against England because they are really good against UEFA teams. England have played Japan twice before, and I don't know. I tell a lie. 3 times. England have won 2 of those, drawn once. I mean, it's saying there was an FA Summer Tournament in 2004. I do not remember that at all, but it was 1-1. And before that, there was an Umbro International Trophy in 1995, and England won that game 2-1 as well. So it's saying we've played 2 competitive games against them. We haven't. They've all basically been friendlies. But yeah, out of 3 games, England have won 2, drawn 1. Only conceded 3 times against them. With a bit of luck, Starmer will have resigned by the World Cup. I have 2 Japan shirts. Japan are organised, technical and defensively compact. Only a lack of will and desire could deny them a cup run. Yeah, Andrew, we did. Played him in 95, mate. I would have been too young to remember that one, certainly. But I remember the own goal one. Once I researched, I didn't remember it, but then once I researched it, I did remember it. I have no recollection they were all of the 2004 game. None whatsoever. So I might go back and watch that. I get scared when underdogs are confident. They scare us. But on it, this is my point. This was my point. They were bringing self-doubt into me, mate. Look at it, like my comments on my videos were bringing the self-doubt in. This is why I want to come tonight on this chat and say, you know what, we're confident. England should beat Ghana and Croatia. I'm buying tickets for England Japan tomorrow. I'm going to both, says Charlie Kelly. Excellent, mate. They should be friendlies, Wembley. I think the only thing that makes this is a good campaign is that it is right before the main group, the World Cup squad. Sorry, so there should hopefully not be like usual England friendlies. There should be plenty to play for a lot of players there, which will hopefully make them entertaining at least. And they are better opposition. They're better opposition than what we've played. I was going to say since Tuchel's taken over, but are Uruguay and Japan better than Senegal? Not quite sure really. Yeah, I know they will. I know they are, Darius. I think so it'd be good to watch them batter Scotland, won't it? I don't think Scotland. I mean, imagine if Japan beat us and then Scotland beat Japan. The doubts. If we get. The thing is, right, I mean, the friendlies, and everyone will be like, if we don't get a good result against Uruguay and Japan, everyone will be like, look, calm down, the friendlies. But the doubts are creeping in. If we don't perform and get a good result against Japan and Uruguay. Yeah, no. Bagani, I remember some players from Slovakia were saying his team would scare England's defence, and I felt scared, and Slovakia nearly knocked us out of the game. I know. The problem is football's football, but this, like against Slovakia, we made far too hard work of that. England were poor. It's not about how good they were, it's about how poor England are. If England turn up against Ghana and Croatia and give 90% of what they're capable of, they will win both games. But this is bloody England, who were infamous for turning up at World Cups and giving 30% of their quality. So, yeah, Uruguay. I think like Ghana. I think both. I know we haven't got Uruguay in our group, so we've got nothing to worry about here. But I think Ghana, Uruguay. I think these are sort of teams that people perceive them on how they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. They've both declined since. I mean, Uruguay. I'm not writing them off, but they're not the historical Uruguay. Your Suarez and your Cavani's and all that sort of stuff. They're not those teams anymore, are they? Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Exactly. So there is that, but yeah, they do. People, yeah, people bringing doubts into me, and I hate it because I hate doubt in England. Any other time I'd be thinking, there's no way we're struggling against these teams. Valverde is their best. Yeah, a good player though. To be fair, Uruguay haven't been good since they played in Copa America. Things with Marcelo Bielsa have been toxic. The problem is Thomas Tuchel. I still believe, I don't know about everybody else, but it doesn't feel like Thomas Tuchel's got everyone on board at the minute, does it? I think probably most England fans, and when I say that, I mean fans who follow England, are relatively behind him. I think we're all like, yeah, he's got the World Cup, let's all just get behind him now. The country isn't behind Thomas Tuchel the same way it was Gareth Southgate. I don't feel that yet. I don't feel that. So that means that, I'm looking at these friendlies coming up and I'm thinking, is there a chance we could have a bad performance? And if we do, it sort of puts a little bit of bother into preparations, doesn't it? It's not going to be quite as smooth. I mean, the one thing is that Tuchel just doesn't care. He's just not bothered, is he? Hello, ZA. Eddie, hope you're okay, mate. Uruguay are the same group with the Euro champion Spain. They should be second or third. Andrew Joyce, I have complete faith, Gary, in Tuchel. It's just injuries that worry me. We always get one key player who misses out. The thing is, right, Andrew, you're absolutely right. I mean, most teams will as well, to be fair. The thing is we should have, with the exception of Harry Kane, we've got replacements in every position. Maybe not as good, but we've got solid replacements in every area. So I hear you. As long as Harry Kane doesn't get injured, I'm fine. I'm happy. I can see Cape Verde beating Uruguay. I also see Saudi taking points off the double world champions. You reckon, Dom? I think if Tuchel gets us to the final, he will be a legend. I mean, he will, Charlie. He absolutely will, mate, if he gets us there. Charlie, honestly, I need whatever you're having because you're so in the Thomas Tuchel in camp. And I'm not saying I'm not. But you're like this is the line. This is the Thomas Tuchel line. This is the people who want him, like, not convinced at all. This is like diehards. I reckon you're up here, mate. I'm probably somewhere, like, just this side, but not quite over here, but about there. You're way over here, mate, and I love it. Because that's ultimately where we should all be, because he is our manager at the World Cup, so let's all just get behind him. If we convincingly beat both, and I go, right, I say this actually, I'll read that out in a second, Bagani. The one thing I was thinking about the other day, right, I had my doubts. Again, I was going through that phase where 1 minute I'm like buzzing for England, next minute I'm a bit like, are we as good as what we think? I'm looking at England, right? Let's give a comparable team. Your top fives, your Portugals, your Brazils, your Argentinas, whatever. You chuck England in there, wouldn't you? As a top five, top six team, you would chuck England in that, no matter who you are. If I was an England fan, right, and I knew Thomas Tuchel was taking charge of any one of those other five teams, I'd be thinking, right, you need to watch that team because they've got Thomas Tuchel in charge. And I forget that as an England fan. I would worry about Thomas Tuchel if he was managing another team of the same level as us. So I think you're on something, Charlie. If we convincingly beat both Uruguay and Japan, they have high hopes we will have a convincing and deep run in the World Cup. Yeah, I agree, but they are only friendlies, and that's what I'm trying to compose myself for, because England friendlies are a mixed bag. Definitely a mixed bag. No, Charlie, there's no stick, mate. You're doing right. You've got to get behind him. Is Luke Shaw in with a shout? He's been playing well since Carrick took over. O'Reilly looks suspect. I mean, end of the day, everyone with a shout. Uruguay drew to Bolivia, Chile and Mexico and lost to Paraguay and 5-1. Wan-Bissaka, I've never understood. I mean, I'm not saying he's amazing, but I've never understood why he's not even had a look in, given the fact that all of a sudden now we're not that blessed with fullbacks. Huge credit to Michael Carrick for reviving Maguire and Shaw. Kobe Mainoo with 3 standout performances as Amarin has left. Definitely in with a chance if he keeps it up, which seems likely. If fit, I completely agree, Mango. No, well, I've not. I mean, I've been doing this live stream, so I've not kept up to date on my toes with Jude Bellingham. I think a rest might do Jude Bellingham some good, actually. Has he actually played for Congo now? Has he actually played for them, Dom? I've missed that then. He's been bypassed by England for a long time anyway. But I didn't realise he'd actually played a competitive game for them now, which is a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, that's yeah. No wonder then he's dropped off my radar. He's been out playing there, but he's a fantastic manager, and everyone will see that in June. And hopefully, I can come on here on July 20th and say I told you so. Nobody, Charlie, wants that more than me. Yeah, Mango. The thing is, right, is we ain't got anyone much better. I mean, Gay scored an own goal today, and it's not about that any of them are crap. It's just we're not that blessed, and experience counts for a lot. And he's so good offensively in the air and defensively in the air. I take Mango. You're right. I take Maguire over Stones. Yeah, he was a good player, at least say. But, Semenyo, Elise, all these guys could have played for England. The German lad as well. Oh, was it? I thought it was awarded to Solanke in the end. Yeah, Kwanzaa could. He likes experience though, doesn't he? I think one thing that's Musiala. That's it. Yeah, he could have played for England as well. So we could have had him along with the other two players as well. But wasn't to be. Would I start Maguire? I'd start Konza and Gahey. I don't know. I mean, I'd start Gahey. Gahey is the stuck on starting centre back, but Konza would have been my pick. Yeah, I think I'd still like to see Konza start if he's fit and he's match fit and all that lot. If the World Cup started tomorrow, put it this way, Rodgers is playing above Bellingham for me. I mean, Saka's technically, if Saka's fit, he starts on the right. I mean, Bowen, does Rashford go? Because Rashford's not getting I know he scored for Barcelona, but he's not starting, is he, for them anymore? He's just so. Yeah, I mean, he's in with a shout of going, Kwanzaa, because we just haven't got the depth, have we? I think Konzo and Gahey are. I think you always, particularly when you're looking at defenders, for some reason you're always thinking you need that proper huge experience. But look, Martin Gahey was our best player, wasn't he, at the Euros when he got dragged into that, and everyone's like he's inexperienced, but he was our best player by a long way. So I just think if they're good enough, they'll be good enough. I don't think Skelly will be on the plane at this rate. No, I'll probably agree with you there, Mango, mate. Livramento, Lewis Hall, they're definitely more of a shout. You've seen with the women's team, they have done so well, back-to-back Euros wins and World Cup final. If that doesn't give people hope that a foreigner can do it with the men's side, then I don't know. Oh, no, absolutely, mate. Gahey moving to Man City is great. Nico O'Reilly. I mean, Gahey moving to Man City is good. Elise committed to France when he was 18. Yeah, I think he did. And to be fair, Musiala committed quite early for Germany as well, even though he did play. I think they both played youth level football for England, didn't they? It's annoying though. I don't agree with players 1 minute playing at youth level for one nation and playing senior for another. And this would work against England, by the way. But I feel like you should commit to one or the other. Can Rodgers do a job on the right wing? Maybe. I think Tuchel probably goes with Rashford, but just a thought. What about Bowen and I mean, I love Madueke, particularly for England. I'm a huge Madueke fan. I would have Madueke and Bowen above Rashford, even on the left. I genuinely would. I know, it's a joke, mate, Andrew. It does my head in. Can Rodgers do a job? Sorry, I read that one. I would say that Pickford is England's best player with it. Well, I think you get my point. Gahey was a top player at the Euros. Elise, despite never living in France, also never played for England youth side, weirdly. I thought he did, but okay, I might have been looking at Musiala. Musiala definitely did. Me too. Just think Tuchel loves Rashford for some reason. Yeah, I agree, but I'd have Bowen and Madueke above Rashford. Ivan Toney, I just think Thomas Tuchel doesn't like him, mate. And ultimately, he's only going to take one other striker. It's going to be probably Watkins, I think. So I've just got a feeling Tony's not going. I mean, I like Ivan Toney, but I do think he's probably a player with I think he's got a lot of attitude about him. Do you reckon? Anthony Gordon? Do you reckon he is? He's a bit wild, I'll give you that, but I wouldn't say he's... Is he? Didn't he grew up in England though, didn't he, Matt? So I mean, I'm not going to go into nationality, but I think where you grow up has a big... I mean, he was, I think, a bit older when he moved to England, to be fair. But I think where you grow is your nationality. You know, they're your friends, that's your culture, that's the education you get. I think where you grow up is your nationality, personally. If I had, you know, two German parents and I grew up in Russia, I'd be Russian in my eyes. Um, I don't know. I don't know about Gordon. I don't think he's not the smartest tool in the box, is he? But I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. I'm sometimes with you, Dom, and then sometimes I think he's half decent. He seems to run a lot, and sometimes he doesn't do a lot, but then sometimes he runs a lot and does a lot. So, oh my God, Pagani, yes, absolutely. I'd be devastated if England lost any final. And I've said this before, we need to take the UEFA Nations League as like our World Cup, mate. We haven't won a trophy in 60 years. Any England fans who are like, Nations League, I don't care, need to give their head a wobble. All of us would love to see England lift the Nations League. It'd be class. I like Madueke. And I just don't know why he's not getting game time. Well, I sort of know why he's not getting game time at Arsenal, but for England, he's been amazing. Amazing. Let me have a look, because I did a preview about the Nations League draw. I'm pretty certain it's like now. 12th of Feb is the Nations League draw in Brussels. Oh, Elliot Anderson definitely above Ward. He hasn't had a goal nor assist in open play this season. I'd rather recall Harvey Barnes to stop Scotland being able to take. I mean, Harvey Barnes, what a player! I mean, why not call him up if he's not tied with anyone else and he's clearly English, isn't he? You know, why not call him up? It's just madness. He's had such a good season. Top player. Tuchel will win the Tuchel win the World Cup, win the Nations League, then win the Euros. Then he can walk away as our greatest ever manager and have a statue built. I think he'd have more than a statue, mate, if he won all those three. Well, yeah, but Rodri's class, innit? Anderson's so good, though. I think he's definitely going to be Rice, Anderson, pivot for the tournament, but I'd be so interested in seeing Anderson in the six with Manu. I think he's just going to play. He'll play Anderson and Rice. Genuinely now, I don't think Bellingham starts at all. I don't think Bellingham starts for England at the minute. No, isn't it? I think is it not to do with what? So you can have an England senior cap, but if you have an England senior cap that's in a competitive match, then I think that's when you're tied. I think depends whether it's been a friendly or competitive game. Oh my God, Pagani! If he wins the World Cup, I want him to stay for the rest of his life. You know, he can sign it. He gets to pick when he leaves. Then, you know what I mean? We're not. He can do what he wants. How well England does in the Nations League is highly dependent on the players being fit and motivated. Well, the motivation for the Nations League has proven difficult with these England players because you end up with some games. England's record in those end of season games, internationals, is woeful, and that's when some of the Nations League games are. So, yeah, England in recent years actually have had their worst results in the Nations League. But imagine and some of our best, ironically. But imagine the scenes in the if they do win it, it'll be something that will be spoken about the January. Oh, Charlie, you can't describe how good it'll be. If you have 3 competitive caps before under 21, you are tied. You only need 1 competitive cap after. Okay. If Tuchel wins the World Cup, he's allowed dinner at Buckingham Palace. You can have dinner around at mine, mate. Don't need to go around there. Of course, I would love to see England become Nations League champions. My starting 11 is Pickford, James, Konza, Gahey, O'Reilly, Anderson, Rice, Bellingham, Madueke, Kane, Rodgers. So you're playing. Is Rodgers wasted out wide, though? That's not where he's been playing the best, is it? See you later, mate. Darius, have a good week, mate, whatever you're doing. Not long left now, and I'll be finishing the live stream anyway. Yeah, I just feel like putting him out wide, it's nullifying him in a little bit, and I think it's trying to fit too many of those types of plays in the same squad. But looking at that, though, is pretty exciting, isn't it, to be fair? Imagine a bus parade the day after the World Cup final. Everyone will say Tuchel is King of England. I don't think I mean, if there's a bus parade, I don't. God, imagine how rammed London would be for that. I don't think you'd get anywhere near the bus. It'd be chaos. It'd be absolute chaos. Do you reckon? No, Roger. I think Rodgers is better than that. But Tuchel said when he became coach, he could be a manager for a very long time. He wants to take it tournament by tournament. Look, at the end of the day, if he wins it, he can do what he wants, can't he? It's his check to write then. Just throw the kitchen sink at the lad. He can have what he wants. It's just mad, like, you go back to November, December, January, February, March. All of a sudden, you're looking at, by March, it's only then the 3 months from November to January where you're looking at, that's it, the World Cup's here. It's so close now. Okay then, fair enough. Fair enough. The FA better not get England to boycott the World Cup just because they won't do. I think the European nations would have boycotted it by now, to be honest with you. Unless they do literally decide to invade Greenland, then I think things will change. No, mate, but thanks for reminding me. I'll be honest with you, with Christmas and everything and the way where it's been, I've just completely slipped my mind, but I will. Yeah, thanks for reminding. Let me make a note of that, actually. And we were just talking about the injuries to Saka and Bellingham as well. I hope not. I ain't fighting for anybody, mate. Not for Greenland, or not for any British politician for that matter. First 3 subs off the bench for you. Well, it depends who's on it. Because if it's Madueke, he's on, but is he going to be starting? I'd start him, but I don't think Thomas Tuchel is. So maybe Madueke would be first off the bench. Palmer, if he takes him, would be on, but again, is he going to take Palmer? Is he even going to be on the plane? I don't know. I don't know about the Bellingham injury or the Saka one for that matter. I'm still waiting on actually understanding how bad these injuries are. Oh, ZA. It'd be absolute scenes, wouldn't it? He won't. He won't. Oh, okay. Well, Foden. Oh, no, we've not even mentioned Foden, have we, tonight? He's just like, he started the season well and then he's just like vanished, hasn't he? I don't know. I think I'm pausing because it's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard because, and this is where the doubt creeps in, because the players who you think that we've got and you call upon as these world class, they're not stuck on us to be playing that well, are they? I know, Mango, honestly, he's an absolute mug, isn't he? As if he's included Trent in his squad. You just think, for God's sake, just stop thinking about club football and pick an England squad that makes sense. No one in their right mind is picking Trent in this England squad. Not because he's not good enough, but because he hasn't played for a year. No, I don't think Palmer goes, but maybe injuries, because he at least is playing. I mean, Palmer goes above Rashford for me. He goes above Marcus Rashford. He's getting more game time than Marcus Rashford at the minute. So, Iceman, you can beat us Croatians. I have no problem with that. Our tournament starts in the knockout stage. Evening, mate. Well, you know what? Obviously, I hope we do beat Croatia. And we were just saying earlier about how confident, particularly Ghanaian fans, Iceman, think they're going to get a result against both of us. To be honest with you, it's a draw would be a good result for both teams in that opening game. Beat Croatia, that's not me playing it down, but England, I think most people will admit, are a better team than Croatia, not by a huge margin, but England would be favourites, is what I'm saying. But yeah, England and Croatia, let's put it this way, England and Croatia should both get out of this group. Have you seen our goalkeeper kit for the tournament? Trophy lifting worthy that. I do like the New England kit, to be fair. If Palmer and some others aren't available, then the door is open for Foden. Do you feel we have regressed since 2024? Not regressed. I think we've got more options, but I think there's less solid options now in terms of like regular game time, playing good football for the clubs. I think it's more I mean, how many players really now are just like stuck on to start? I think it's dwindling by the day. I don't think we were that great in 2004. We played rubbish for most of the time. Well, we're shocking. We stunk the place out, didn't we, for 2 weeks? Yeah, to be fair. Right. It's now 1:30, guys. It's been great night. I hope you've enjoyed my little new idea in relation to the weekly quiz question. Well done to those who got guessed the player. It was too easy on you this week. I need to think of something more difficult. England tickets have been up for sale for the Uruguay and Japan games, so get those if you want to go at Wembley. Loved it. Absolutely loved it again. Hopefully I'll be back on next week. Should be a good run now for the next few weeks. I will drop my third video in the series I'm doing about doing a deep dive on each of our World Cup group opponents. So come on, guys, get in that chat and start bigging us up, because I'm telling you now, we're getting a lot of grief from everybody else. So get in that comment section and give it some. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new here and you join these live streams, I've been saying in my video, 80% of people who watch my videos, and returning viewers as well. And I know probably less so on the live streams, but 80% and with a high percentage of return viewers are not subscribed, which is incredibly frustrating. So please subscribe if you are new and you haven't done so already. Hope you all have a great week. I hope you've all had a great weekend. I hope you all have a great week, whatever it is you're doing. And I will see you all on my next video. Sorry, Wildlife UK, did I bore you? Korea and Turkey reached the semis in 2002. Don't buy the African hype. I agree. I think we should. It should be 3 points. It should be 3 wins from 3 for me. Anyway, see you later, guys. Have a great week, and yeah.